Good morning. My name is Maureen Chung. Welcome to Daily Devotional of June the 19th. The passage is Numbers chapter 20, verse 1 to 13, and the title is Moses Lost It. Chapter 20, verse 1. In the first month, the whole Israelite community arrived at the Desert of Zin, and they stayed at Kadesh. There, Miriam died and was buried. Now, there was no water for the community, and the people gathered in opposition to Moses and Aaron. They quarreled with Moses and said, "If only we had died when our brothers fell dead before the Lord. Why did you bring the Lord's community into this wilderness that we and our livestock should die here? Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to this terrible place? It has no grain or figs, grapevines or pomegranates, and there's no water to drink." Moses and Aaron went from the assembly to the entrance of the tent of meeting and fell face down, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. The Lord said to Moses, "Take the staff, and you and your brother Aaron gather the assembly together. Speak to that rock before their eyes, and it will pour out its water. You will bring water out of the rock for the community, so they and their livestock can drink." So Moses took the staff from the Lord's presence, just as he commanded him. He and Aaron gathered the assembly together in front of the rock, and Moses said to them, "Listen, you rebels, must we bring you water out of this rock?" Then Moses raised his arm and struck the rock twice with his staff. Water gushed out, and the community and their livestock drank. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you did not trust in me enough to honor me as holy in the sight of the Israelites, you will not bring this community into the land I give them." These were the waters of Meribah, where the Israelites quarreled with the Lord, and where he was proved holy among them. Following God requires careful and exact obedience. It is not easy if we take our past experience and our emotions into account. Our past experience preconditions us to act in a certain way. We can be pulled by our runaway emotions to react in the flesh and not in the spirit. This I know full well. I have committed inadvertent and thoughtless sins many times this way. Even Moses, a friend of God, cannot escape this weight on his shoulders. In Exodus chapter 17, verse 1 to 7, at an early episode of the Israelites' complaint about the lack of water, God told Moses to strike on a rock with his staff for water to gush out to quench the thirst of the desert sojourners. This must have created a deep impression on Moses. Now, in the 40th year of their wandering in the desert, the younger generation could not remember such a stunning miracle, and they again protested in the most ungrateful way against God. With past experience in mind and a disgust towards the rebellious people at the moment, Moses just lost it. He struck the rock with his staff instead of speaking to it as God instructed. As he did so, he spoke as if he was the miracle giver who brought them the life-saving water. "Listen, rebels, do we have to bring water out of this rock for you?" Numbers chapter 20, verse 10. He was inadvertently usurping God's glory, for by "we" he meant it to be none but himself and Aaron. How easy it is for us to usurp God's glory or to steal his thunder. In a moment of righteous anger, we can put ourselves in the place of God and chastise others as if we were God. How else may we steal God's glory? If a person is led to accept Jesus Christ during our testimony, we might quietly congratulate ourselves. If a preacher preached a powerful sermon, he or she might rejoice over his or her oratory success. If a church thrives with great increase in attendance and donation, the leaders might be pleased with their ministries. Where is the sovereignty of God in these achievements? If he has not blessed, we wouldn't have achieved. If he has not worked, we couldn't have good results. If Moses, who was considered to be more humble than others of his generation, can steal God's glory, so can we. If our attitude is masked by the pretense of righteous anger, it is all the more deplorable in the sight of God. To whom more is given, more is required. When a respected leader sins, the punishment is proportional to the spread of his influence. Of all people, Moses should have known better. His punishment was grave, for he was stripped of the privilege of entering the promised land. He was to die in the desert. As I put myself into the shoes of Moses, I too feel a sense of being wrongfully attacked and victimized. It was not Moses' idea to bring them out of Egypt via the route of the wilderness. God had the good intention of blessing them with a homeland rich with milk and honey. But the Israelites complained viciously against Moses and blamed God for their temporary lack of water. In serving God, we don't always get the appreciation from the people being served. We might get cruel accusations that we don't deserve. But if we know with a clear conscience that we have obeyed God the best way we know how, and we have given our best effort in the service of his people, we can rely on the justice and mercy of God for our safety and protection. It takes great patience and endurance to rest in God's strength and goodness. Moses was originally a hot-tempered person. It took God 40 years to mellow him. Even at the age of about 120 years, after another 40 years of desert journey, he can still erupt in a moment of anger. The old self is never completely mortified. I should see this as a caution. With the well-known Jesus prayer I utter, Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Amen. Thank you for joining me, and may God bless you all. See you tomorrow. Please like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get new video updates. Thank you.